soul, all is well.
I'm delighted to be joined now by American singer-songwriter Avi Kaplan. He is best known as his basso profondo range and his tenure as the vocal bass of the a cappella group Pentatonix from 2011 to 2017. As a part of that group, he released 5 studio albums, won 3 Grammy Awards, and sold over 6 million albums, which isn't too shabby. In 2017, he went solo, and he is now on the verge of releasing his debut solo album entitled Floating on a Dream. I'm delighted to welcome Avi to the show. Avi, how are you? And thank you for joining us.
I'm doing well. I'm so happy to be on this side of the world. And yeah, I'm just excited.
Yeah. When did you get here?
I got here 2 days ago, trying to beat the jet lag before I get started with the shows.
Yeah. I mean, before we go any further, all is well. I must say, I fell on your music through Spotify, of all things.
Amazing.
Yeah. And I was just absolutely taken by All Is Well. I Can't Lie is also now the current single from the forthcoming album. That's on our new music playlist this week.
Amazing.
How does it feel? Because obviously very much Pentatonix, huge sort of group, but you've really completely changed direction going solo, haven't you? So I suppose 2 questions in one, really. First of all, how does it feel being more in control of your own destiny, I suppose, because you're going solo? And why did you choose to change direction?
Oh, man. Well, it feels amazing to be in control of my own destiny, to be able to control, the pace that I go at, how I'm creating my art, it's huge. And, the thing is that before I started with Pentatonix, this is always the music that I've done. This is always the music that I've written, always the music that I've listened to. It's music that I grew up with. And so for me, it feels like I'm coming back home, but for other people, it feels like a big curveball, a left turn. So for me, it feels like a homecoming. It feels like I finally settled back after a flight.
That's really interesting. I mean, I imagine you've got some amazing memories of being with Pentatonix.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, but absolutely. Now you're going more with your feelings and your where you want to go.
Yes, absolutely. This is the music that I've always written. It's been the music that I've always listened to, and so it's been a really, really beautiful experience to be able to delve into the stuff that's really in my heart. And it's been amazing to feel support from the old fans and gaining new fans, and people discovering the music that I do and then finding out later that I was in Pentatonix. It's good. I'm excited for people to recognize me more for what I'm doing now than what I did before. But I also, I honor what I did before, and I love what I did. I'm proud of what I did. I'm just excited for the future.
Yeah. What influences your writing, Avi? What is it that takes you to the place where, because I mean, you write not just lyrically, but instrumentally, the pieces are beautiful and really transportive. I wonder where that inspiration comes from.
Well, I listen to a ton of music. I've always done a lot of composing and arranging and writing, and this is kind of where I get to put all of my creative elements into one place, I channel it into one place. And so it's been really, really exciting to do that. The inspiration, like I said, comes from other music. It comes from traveling and being in nature. It comes from being alone, and listening to myself and listening to what's inside of me. And it also comes from just working out that muscle, continuing to write. When I'm writing, I write every single day. When I'm in the studio, I'm in the studio every single day. I can't put something down until it's finished, and I can't finish it until it's finished right. It's been really cool to channel all that energy into this music because it's really just what I love. It's just a dream.
I'm unfortunately not going to get to see you live this time, but I'm very excited for when you do come back over to Europe, because
Yes,
I
absolutely.
imagine it again, that sort of transportive feeling. What can people expect? Because you're in Manchester and you're in London.
Yes.
Before you then depart, and I've got quite a comprehensive tour around Europe, actually.
Yeah.
So what can people expect from the live show?
Still a lot of harmony. I am still a huge harmony fan, so there's going to be a lot of harmonies, a lot of 3-part harmony. It's going to be an eclectic vocal set for me, up and down, lower register, upper register. If there are songs that you may hear them in a different way, lots of different arrangements, different keys. I really like to, when I write a song and I've played it one way, I like to try to arrange it in a totally different way, in a totally different key, give it a totally different feel, just because I enjoy the arranging aspect of things. And I would say that it's going to be a good grounding energy, very rooted. I'm very, very excited for people to feel what we're putting across in the set. I'm excited for the set that we put together.
It sounds really fascinating and so much up my street, because I love it when an artist takes something that you might know and then sort of almost takes it apart and puts it back together. So it's the same song, but it's totally different. I think the artistry in that is quite magnificent. You are a very busy man. I'm just looking at your tour schedule. Just between now and the end of March, you've got 9 dates in almost as many days. Is this your first time as a solo artist sort of performing and touring around Europe?
No, I actually came, oh man, I don't remember what the year it was, but it was right before the pandemic.
Right.
So I guess 2019, 2020,
Yeah.
I know the years are no longer existent to me. But I came over for a very short tour. And this is definitely the longer one. So I am excited.
Yeah. How does it feel? Because now you are yourself, you're in the public eye as you, whereas obviously as part of Pentatonix, it was a group. Have you noticed any difference, any change in people's perception of you? Or
I think that things have changed. I think that, Pentatonix was all over the place all the time. I think I got more recognized back then, but when people do recognize me these days, the reaction, the interaction, the type of human that recognizes me and wants to say something to me is different. It's more on my wavelength. It's more just kind of matches my energy. And, and that's not a good or bad thing, but it's just an observation, and I think that it's just a different feeling when I'm speaking to people now, because, before I was covering other people's songs and I was rarely even singing lyrics. And now I'm singing lyrics that are very deep rooted in my heart. And so the interactions are just different, more emotional, deeper.
No, I can understand that. This album, which I know I can't tell you how much I've enjoyed what I've heard of it so far. It's just absolutely beautiful. Produced by Shooter Jennings, of course, a rather famous son, of Waylon. What a way to announce yourself to the world with an album, though. With
Absolutely.
that huge name. You've also obviously had Joy Williams guesting. So how did you go about putting that team together to bring the album together, to make it a reality?
So with Shooter, my label, so I'm on Fantasy, which is a part of Concord, and Shooter's become kind of like a in-house producer, and they sent my music to him, a lot of my demos, and he was like, let's do it. He wanted to meet me immediately and talk about the music. And so he came out to my place in Tennessee. We hung out on the porch and just talked for hours. I think we spoke for probably 4 hours, just hanging and talking about music, and me showing him different songs that I've written, and then different reference points for the production that I wanted to do. It was just a big time of just dreaming things up together. So that's kind of how that all got put together. It just kind of felt like it was kismet. And then with Joy, I'd actually met her a while back just did some industry things. She'd always been super, super kind. I was a huge fan of her back in the day, still am. And she was always just really, really kind. And then I got new management when I left Pentatonix. And one of my managers, I'm managed by 3 people. One of my managers also manages her. And so he got us together for a write. Nashville's a super, super collaborative place. A very, very new thing to me, writing with other people, but I've really gotten into it. But anyway, so I went to go write with her, and we wrote All Is Well that day. And we put together a demo and we sang together, and it felt so good singing with her. And then when it came to, lay down the tracks, I asked her if she wanted to be a part of it, and she said absolutely. And the rest is history.
Yeah. I can't wait for the album. It comes out on the 20th of May. It's slated to be released. Is there any reason to believe that'll move?
No, I do not think it'll move. It's moved many, many times behind the scenes, but not this time.
Avi, thank you for joining us. It's been a real pleasure chatting to you and learning a bit more. And I am very, very excited to hear the album in full when it comes out. And just in case, because we do have listeners around the world, and you are in, just very briefly, I'm just going to reel these off. You're in Luxembourg City, Cologne, Germany, the Netherlands at a place I'm not going to try and pronounce. Utrecht in, is it Utrecht? Is that how you say it? I think that's how you say it. In the Netherlands. Yeah. Hamburg, Germany, Copenhagen, Denmark, Berlin, Germany, Warsaw, Poland, Krakow, Poland, Vienna, Austria, Prague. Where else are you? Munich, Zurich, Paris, before you head back to Nashville. And that first gig back is on the 21st of May. Have a wonderful time, Avi. And are you hoping to come back before too long? I think is the final question I'm going to ask you.
I really hope so. I love coming over here. I always have. Love the people, love the culture, love the food. It's just all around beautiful over here. So I'll be back as soon as I possibly can.
Well, I will be there in the front row with tickets. I can promise you that. I really
wait.
Fantastic. Thanks ever so much, Avi. Take care.
See ya.
You hit me like a thunder